Hi, this is Seth Green's Bonder, where I do predictions of the future. If you'd like me to do prediction field, let me know in the comments below. Just a reminder, we do lives here on Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Central. So make sure you mark it down on your calendar so you don't miss out. I'm working alone today. The wife is at work. So bear with me as we go through all the things for today. Okay, let's get into the first thing, which is the card of the day. As we're waiting for people to come on in, the card is our message from universe to us for today. It is the inner child card. Very nice. So, making sure that you always have that little bit of playfulness throughout your day, making sure that you're not always so serious about everything that's going on around you, or you'll drive yourself nuts. And just spend a little bit of time each day to have some fun. Okay, so let's get into some of the questions that people had asked on the Discord channel. So one of the questions was, I don't think the U.S. understands the implications of what the BRICS is about. When they wake up, how big a pushback will we see? Interesting. Let's throw some cards down for that. So I do believe that the U.S. is kind of blind to the fact that the BRICS could be taking over much of the world and changing it pretty much. I read or saw a report not that long ago that 90% of the world is going against the US dollar. So that's 90% of the population of the entire planet changing to something else and looking for alternatives. Some have gone to Bitcoin, and a lot of them are going to the BRICS. So a big part of the population now is part of a new system outside of the US dollar. Even though the US dollar has such strength, still, I think it's quickly dwindling to just about nothing. And we're watching this as we see subs and all that and Russian stuff going on. And that's just basically a distraction for everything that's going on, especially that maybe that Hunter Biden thing going on. Nobody really watched that news, did they? They all were busy watching the submarine. So the cards that I laid out here, this is going to be the moment in time where the American dollar and the people that utilize that US dollar are kind of prideful. Okay. They do not think that anything could overthrow them. And this is kind of the world that they're living in right now, that they don't have any worries or cares of what's going on. But when it does happen, it's going to be a real shocker for many of the people around the planet. And this is why I keep stating maybe you would like to get your into your wealth into other assets for the moment. Okay. Because it's not going to be very long where the banking industry is going to be any good. It's not really good now. I can imagine what it's going to be like in the next little while. So there's going to be quite a bit of pushback from this, but all in all, it's going to be a very surprising moment for many of the people that are hanging on to that old American dollar as a king of all things. I think it's going to be in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to start to see a huge backlash of this particular situation moving forward. So make sure that you trust your intuition. Make sure that you spread out your wealth a little bit more than it is now. And I think you'll be just fine. Okay, so let's get into the next thing. And I believe it was Bob Shaw that was asking about BCH, kind of I've been watching Bitcoin Cash for quite some time, and it's a great project, all that thing. And there is going to be some things that are going to be coming out of that are going to be good. But unfortunately, nobody's using it at this moment in time. They're all focused on the Bitcoin, okay, the original Bitcoin. So let's throw some cards down. Are they going to be surviving everything going on? I know a lot of psychics out there do enjoy or like the Bitcoin Cash system that's been going on for quite some time, but unfortunately, nobody's using it. So let's throw some cards down. I think they're going to be having a good representation in the near future while we're going into this uncertain times financially. Okay, so it is used in a lot of countries like Japan and a lot of places in South America where they're using some Bitcoin Cash, but mostly Bitcoin and a couple other ones like Dash and that sort of thing. But they are going to have a happily ever after in about a year or so. We're going to see the huge changeover into cryptocurrencies, and what they're going to be one of the cryptocurrencies that's going to be going along for the ride, because just about every company that you notice that is asking for payment in cryptocurrencies, okay, along with other payment methods, they're also listing Bitcoin Cash. Pay attention to many of the companies out there that offer different cryptocurrencies and what cryptocurrencies that they are. And we'll give you an indicator of the cryptocurrencies that are going to be the biggest into the future. And those are usually Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, some do Litecoin, Ethereum. Very few do XRP, which is interesting. And what was the other one that keeps cropping up? There's some that do Dash, and Bitcoin Cash is part of that long list of cryptocurrencies that so means that they want that or they have that in their own wallets moving forward. So I do believe it's going to have a future, but it's not going to be one of the bigger cryptocurrencies in the next 5 years. Okay, it will have its time under the sun. It will be used, but it's not going to be the biggest one. Okay, and this is the title of today's show. And then we're going to get into the chat. So the whole idea of motivation is a trap. Okay, I was going through the old John C. Maxwell quotes, and this is one that caught my eye, and I remember the teaching on this, where unfortunately it's kind of like the law of attraction. People kind of try to stay motivated, and I've been in this situation with a couple of different companies that I've been part of, where you get all motivated, but you take no action. Okay, it's kind of law of attraction. You sit there, you hope, you motivate yourself, but you do nothing. Okay, forget motivation. Just get in there. They do play off of one another. It's great to be motivated, but you also must take action. Okay, have a clear line of objectives. Okay, write it down, do all the things, and then you need the other law. And that's the law of action. And this is the thing that many people forget about once trying to accomplish anything in their life. So, motivation alone will not get you to where you want to go. Okay, it's a trap. I've known many people that have just sat there hoping and wishing and being overly motivated and never ever taking action. Okay, so the whole secret. The Secret, if you remember back in the day, it was, if you read that book, it only talks about the one law. Okay, that's the law of attraction. It doesn't talk about the law of action. So Just a reminder out there, if you have something in mind that you would like to accomplish, you always have to have the two laws working for you, the law of attraction and the law of action. Okay. And the universe will start to give you the information and the means to start accomplishing many of the things that you would like to do. And it will take you into directions that you would never think you would get into. So try that today. Have those law of attractions that you want to write down and then start taking action. Okay. So let's get into, I should talk about the Discord channel. I'll get the link up here for everybody so they can participate into the Discord channel, which is free for everybody to come on in and enjoy. I'll just create myself a link here. Okay, generate new link. And I'll put it into the chat for everybody. There you go. So if you haven't been part of the Discord channel, we're at like 53, 54 people already. So if you like to be part of that community, our community here, make sure you press on the link and make sure that you join us for I post things. A lot of people have been posting things, and it's been quite a interesting time on the Discord channel. Okay, so hopefully you grab that. Let's get into the chat. Okay, so Bob Job asked, how long will till Russia and Ukraine get a peace pact that works? Cards, please. Thanks. Well, they already had a peace thing on the table. Ukraine was already ready to sign. Okay. It was the Western world that told them not to. Putin is not opposed to a peace treaty. Okay. And I think Zelensky is not as well, but he has his orders from his bosses, which is the Western world. And they told him to carry on with the war, even though many Ukrainians are getting demolished. Okay, in the process, it's not until our side, the good guys, say that you can stop the war now and go for peace. So it's not about not wanting it, it's about the Western world leaders not wanting it done. So let's throw some cards down. I don't think it's going to be lasting much longer. I think there's going to be another 2 to 3 years time that this situation is going to be happening until, because the Russians are taking it very slow. They're being actually very nice. They have enough armaments in the Russian arsenal to blow Ukraine off the map, but they're not. Okay, they're just slowly grinding. This is their tactic. They go, they grind up the opposing military, and then they stop. They take that position, regroup, and keep going. It's not that quick like the Americans. Shock and awe, that they call it. So it's going to be another 2, maybe even 3 years longer than what we had anticipated back in the day. Everybody, it's going to be quick, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be a very long time until either Zelensky is kicked out and some new government comes in, or they finally get rid of him entirely in some fashion. But I don't see that for another 3 years' time. And by then, Ukraine will be not much left standing. And this is going to be part of, I did post something about Russia from Edgar Casey. If you go onto the Discord, I posted something from an old prophecy from Edgar Casey. He's one of my favorite guys to read, and he's very, very accurate. Okay. This whole process that we're going through right now with the Ukraine Russia thing is to bring peace back into the world. In Ukraine, they're doing a lot of the money laundering, which is quite evident. Remember the FTX thing? Child trafficking, chemical weapons production, oh, you name it. The Ukrainians are in, well, the government is into it, not necessarily the people themselves. I feel for the people themselves, but I do not feel sad for the governments that have been doing this around the world. So another 2 to 3 years time on the timeline. Okay. Samantha Jane Psychic states on July 18th, important for crypto. What do you say? I haven't watched her for a long, long time. I watched a few of her shows. She's good. But I haven't watched since. I think on that day we're going to be changed. This is going to be the pivot point that we've all been waiting for, with the SEC really starting to back down from their position on suing everything and everyone. And that's in arm's reach. I think this is going to be the beginning of that particular situation where we're going to have that pivot point of everything starting to calm down and everybody starting to get back into the cryptocurrency world on the whole. Visualization is going to be of a new system put into place to replace the SEC. It might be another organization that starts to take over that position, because the SEC doesn't really. It's supposed to be, I can't remember the name of the organization that's actually supposed to be looking after cryptocurrencies and other currencies, but it's not supposed to be the SEC. It's supposed to be another one. It will go to another organization, which is far better and not controlled by the elites in that period of time. Okay. And we got that vacation card, which is interesting. It was just telling me that the SEC and all that baloney is going to be taking a vacation at that period of time, and then just allowing it to move on. And we're going to start to see a lot of new banking woes in that period of time, which will scare a lot more people into cryptocurrency, but it won't be for a while from then. Okay? Because people have to learn stuff and then figure it out in time. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. We have Richmond Olive. Hello. Reading for which crypto will take off first? Waves or Theta? I haven't heard of Waves for a long time. Waves is a cryptocurrency where you can make your own cryptocurrency that rides on top of their blockchain. It's from Russia, I believe. I think Theta is going to be the one that takes off the fastest out of the two of them. I think Waves is kind of behind the scenes and not much news or much talk about Waves at the moment. And it's been like that for quite some time. Theta gets a lot more attention, thus it gets more money coming into their system. Okay. And that's probably the reason why it's going to be actually moving much, much quicker than the waves. And there's more people using Theta because of Theta TV, their platform, which is kind of like YouTube and Twitch put together. So people are using it, and they're once you, and it works, which is awesome. And once that you have something like that, a lot more attention will go into it, and a lot more money will go into that. So Theta for the win for the between the two of them. Wave's going to be going okay. I think they're going to be breaking free from much of the situation that they are in. And I think they're going to be rebranding themselves in some way too. It's more usable for the end user coming up in some way. And you're going to hear a little bit more talk about it in the next 4 or 5 years on the Waves platform. Okay? So hopefully that answers your question. Hi, eCash, Zach, BCHB has had big developments. When will this be widely used? Not a lot of people know it, so that's the unfortunate part of many of the cryptocurrencies, that there's not a lot of people who know what's going on with many of these cryptocurrencies on a day-to-day basis because they have no advertising. So the regular person on the street will not know the benefits of cryptocurrencies except for what they hear on the news, which is usually negative. And smaller projects like eCash, which I have heard of, it's been around for quite some time, and Zach, which is part of BCH. People kind of, even cryptocurrency people don't really follow this. So well, let's throw some cards down. I think they're going to be more used in the, I'm picking up 4 or 5 years from now, that they're going to be really taking off as more of a second tier cryptocurrency, where Bitcoin is more of a first tier, but much of the things are going to be floating on top of Bitcoin and Ethereum for quite a while. And this might be a side chain used for other things, but it won't really be realized in about 4 or 5 years. People are not going to be using their cryptocurrencies for day-to-day purchasing for quite some time. Everybody's waiting for the $1 million Bitcoin before they actually start using it. They still just see it as a speculative object, not an actual cash at the moment. When all the banking and all that sort of thing goes off, then we can, and it goes up to $1 million, which it will, BTC. Then we're going to start to use it as actual monies. Okay? On a grander scale. Everybody's holding their crypto and waiting for that big cash out. Okay? Will Biden be impeached soon? No. Either him or Kamala Harris. The ultra wealthy never pay for their crimes in any way. It doesn't matter what they've done. Just look like Hunter Biden got the lesser of a bunch of charges of what he could have been charged with. And nobody watched it because we're all watching about some submarine somewhere. That was the distraction. that was what was going on during the big distraction. Then when that submarine thing kind of ended, you had the coup in Russia, which is, like I said, was a whole lot of nothing. But it kept your attention, and people didn't watch what was happening to Hunter Biden. And so it's the shiny object. Look over here, shiny object. Don't look at the guy with the briefcase or the laptop. Yeah, he's going to be pulling through this, no problem. There's not going to be an impeachment. He may get a little slap on the wrist. And I think they're just going to be carrying on, which is going to be making most Americans even madder, more angry, and doing all kinds of wonderful things. Domino's playing with my set. Hello, Domino. Yeah, but he won't be impeached anytime soon. If it does get to that, they'll just give him a lesser charge and continue on. Rules for thee and not for me is the slogan that they should go for. Angie, hi Andre, do you see a new job on the horizon for me? For yourself, I think you're going to be moving forward fearlessly. Make sure that you get all the work done, all the actions. Joanna, come on. He's wanting to say hello. Make sure that you're doing the action. You got that law of attraction working for you. Put some white light around the particular situation and continue on. With that, there's going to be something coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks that may be suited for you. But till then, it's going to be a very long, quiet time for you, job-wise. So don't worry, there is something on the horizon for you in that time period. Don't worry that it's a little bit quiet at the moment. Okay? So continue with what you're doing, and you're going to get there. Hopefully that helps out. Hi, Andre. I saw a video where people are using Tree for free energy. They use the multimeter to show the voltage 3 cards plays. Trees. Kitty cats. He's been on the floor beside me looking cute. On his belly. Look at me. Pay attention to me. That's what happens when mom's not here. Okay. No biting. Okay. I don't see this as anything. It's probably a false video. There's probably some trick behind it, and it just doesn't have anything in it that actually works. I've actually seen something like this in the past, and it turned out to be a scam of some sort. So, be interesting if you could get energy from a tree, but I haven't seen anything real for that. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Purr. Pyramids. Yes. Pledge finance will have a good flow of money coming into it soon. I was wondering if large companies will be using this utility in order for it to have this happen. Oh, biting. I did feed you. Maybe he's hungry. Bite daddy. Okay. That is part of the truth that you've been saying there. There is going to be some big companies coming in. I don't think it's going to be as large as they were thinking or giving away or saying that it's going to be this huge thing. It's going to be bigger than it was, but it's not going to be this huge thing that's going to be going on. There is going to be some big companies that are going to be coming into the fray. So don't worry, it'll get some business and some cash flow, but not as much as they're stating. They're overstating in some ways on the importance of what's going to be happening. But there is going to be some people coming into the system. Okay, hopefully that helps you out. Crypto Viewing did an remote viewing a few years ago and saw the USA government sacked overnight. Cards on when that may be. I don't know about being sacked. I do see it being split apart. Okay. And like I stated before, it's going to be like a checkerboard. There's going to be Texas, Montana, Florida, and a few other states that are going to be pulling away from the rest. I don't think there's going to be any war type of thing. The ones that are on the red side are going to be the ones that are going to be surviving and carrying on with most of the thing day to day, and pick up all the pieces from when it does fall, and it will fall, as is most of the planet. And we're already watching that in live. I do see it. The whole world is going to be a patchwork. Probably even where you live in the UK, there's going to be the little places, towns, and all that are going to be like a checkerboard of right and left. And we're going to see a lot more of that as we move further into the future. But I don't think it's going to be sacked necessarily. The only way it would be sacked would be the government and the banking industry collapsing, which is going to be happening. But if we're all smart, and most people in Texas like Bitcoin, they're big on Bitcoin there, and Montana and many of those places, maybe we should follow that so we don't get caught up in that situation ourselves. Okay? Hope that helps you out. I like Crypto Viewing. It's a great channel. Should there be 13 months in a year? Maybe really short months. Sure. The number 12 is significant for many of the things. The 12 months, the 12 zodiac signs. There was a 13th zodiac sign at one time. I can't remember off the top of my head of what it was, but it was based on that. I think the calendar that we have right now pretty much works. Okay. I don't think we really need a change, and it's probably the least of our worries right now. We should be moving on to other things. But the 13th month would wouldn't be bad. Just be a pain in the butt changing everything over. Hello, Andre. BCH is having a big run. Do you see a pullback soon? Yes. How high do you see? $300 to $400 Canadian, and then it's probably going to dive down in about 2 to 3 weeks or so. Why it's going through that cycle is probably the thing that Bob Job was talking about. There's some new interest and some new systems being put into place for the BCH. But that's going to be lasting for a couple of weeks. Not much longer than that. Hey, we're back to the beginning here. How'd that happen? Keeps doubling. Hang on. We're having technical difficulties. Okay, here we are. Hi, Andre. Can I get a 3-card reading on my crypto portfolio? Well, first question I always ask is, do you have Bitcoin? I hope you do. Then Ethereum, then Litecoin, then XRP, then Chainlink, then Litecoin. And everything else is gravy. So hopefully you got some of those that I mentioned. And anything within the top 50, you'll be okay. You may have to raise your standards of the cryptocurrencies that you have. I'm thinking that what you have is okay, but I don't think it's the best moving forward. Hopefully you get some of the Bitcoin and all that sort of thing. If you do, you should be just fine. All the attention is going to be on the Bitcoin. You have to remember 95% of the cryptocurrencies that are out there are going to be disappearing in a short while, just because they have no real use case. Always look for something that has a use case and not built on, well, we're better than Bitcoin. That's why most crypto enthusiasts always say, get the top 50. Anything below that, you're playing with fire. Okay, so make sure that you get into that top 50, top 100 cryptocurrencies. They're there for a reason. Look for the cryptocurrencies that are on the Trezor, and they only deal with the best ones on the Trezor cryptocurrency wallet. So it's going to give you a good indicator of the ones that are going to be around for the longest period of time. Okay, I think you're going to need to rearrange some things in the next little while. Okay. Oh, it's all over the place today. Okay. When do you see me having my operation for my head? Asians? This year or next year? Oh, thank you. It's going to be next year, early next year. I do have the feeling of cold, so it may be early in the new year when you do get that operation. If I think the scheduling is going to be working out where you're going to have to pick one of the winter months to get it done. Hopefully it's not 40 below like here in Winnipeg, but it's going to be in that time period. And everything, I believe, when you do get that operation, is going to be just fine. I don't see any difficulties with the operation when it does happen. But you're going to have a little bit of delays because of scheduling mishaps and that sort of thing with the hospital that you're going to be doing it with. Okay? Hopefully that helps you out. Hi, cryptos like Reef and Pledge and other finance coins need a day in the sun. When will this occur? 2023? No. It's going to be 2025, 2026. We're going to start to see many of those finance coins really getting some use. For the first little while, with the new changes, we're going to start to see Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Those cryptocurrencies are going to be getting first attention. Okay? You have to remember, most people do not know any of these cryptocurrencies that you mentioned, the average person on the street. When they do get into cryptocurrency, hopefully they're properly educated, not put their money into something that's fly by night, which there's been many. Usually the first thing that they're going to be coming across is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, that sort of thing. And plus, when we do have the next bull run, people will want to get into Bitcoin. Okay? And be careful of all the other little cryptocurrencies. There's going to be tons of them popping up. People are going to be putting money in it, and they're going to have a lot of rug pulls. So get into things that are trustworthy. Okay? Do you see crypto market falling a lot before run you predicted at the end of year? Well, it will fall, okay, but not to the amount that all the other experts are saying, okay? It's going to bounce around a little bit. It's not going to have this huge, oh, it's $8,000 for Bitcoin. No, nothing like that. It's actually going to dip a tiny bit and then start to go back up quite considerably, especially with the ETF happening in the United States with BlackRock. When that starts to happen, there's already rumors that it's pretty much passed. They put in their paperwork already. Now they got to give Gary his money. Here you go, Gary. Pass it. And then what's going to happen in the United States? Even though everywhere else on the planet has ETFs, it's just the US that doesn't have it. But unfortunately, it's the largest, most richest place on the planet. Okay. Once that happens and the paperwork's gone through, now all the other cryptocurrency companies that have been wanting to do the ETFs now can look at the paperwork and know what to do themselves. And they would just copy and paste that situation. So every company that had wanted a ETF can just copy what BlackRock had done, because the paperwork would be open to everybody to look at. Okay? And now they can just follow, connect the dots basically, and do the same thing and get their ETFs off the ground as well. So with that, you're going to have a very big explosion in price. So there you go. Hi, Andre. A chart said market to rise until October and then dive 80%. Maybe. I keep getting these videos about chartists. Oh, it's going to drop to blah, 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 blah. No. It's going to go 90% down. And I get tired of these people because they keep getting it wrong. There's been very few chartists that have gotten it exactly right. Oh, it has to go down because it has to test this level and that level, and it has to go through the wedge, and they're not paying attention to what's happening around them. Okay, ETF make everything grow exponentially. We're getting into the next halfing very, very soon in April of next year. And a little after that is usually when cryptocurrencies really explode for about a year and a half, traditionally. Okay. So 80% no. 10, 12% maybe. Okay. Everybody's this alarmist. Oh, it's gonna fall. You have to be careful of these chartists, and if they're a YouTuber or whatever, they're just doing that for clicks. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for Daisy Change for the £10. You were right on. My son has split up with his girlfriend. When do you see him meeting somebody else? He said Tuesday. I don't think it's going to be very, very long, but he has to get through this situation, which is normal. I do see in a couple of months, I think something is going to be brewing with somebody new coming up, and it's somebody he already knows. He doesn't think of them that way yet, but I think it's going to be one of these things that blossoms, and I think the other person is pretty good for the situation. Okay, hopefully that helps you out. Hi, Andre. How does my July look like? Well, this is going to be a time for trying to nurture yourself in July, because you're going to be you've been carrying a lot of baggage for you with yourself, trying to climb that mountain. It's time to start to repack that baggage. I got that detoxification card. Okay. And once you start to do that, you can start to break free from many of the things that you think are there but aren't, or are things that can hinder you in things that you want to do. But it holds you back. Okay. So it's time to repack your bags and to just keep moving forward with the things that you were thinking of doing. And this is going to be that month. July is going to be that month where you're going to start to reanalyze all the things that are around you and start to move forward with lighter bags. Okay? Doesn't mean bad you have baggage. It just means, well, everybody has a baggage, right? It's nothing to be sad about. Okay? Just repack, make them lighter, and throw out the things that you do not need. We went to the church Sunday, and there's a lady there that we used to, we still are friends with her. And she's making all kinds of excuses because it's all mental. Okay. She thinks she has the after COVID sickness, and it's holding her back from doing all the things that. And one of the mediums up front goes, "Stop that. It's a manifestation of the mind." Okay. No, it's not. Yes, it is. And I turn around and I go, yes, it is. When you got all the psychics looking at you going, you're on the right track. So the things that we think are real and we use them as excuses to hold ourselves back from things, get rid of that. Okay. And look for a way of doing this situation to your benefit. Okay. Thank you for that. 360 crypto farming. Hello. You're going to be getting a sour note from something that you're trying to do with somebody else. It's something that you're trying to implement in moving forward with it. Somebody's not going to be agreeing with that. So you're not getting that win-win situation with the both of you moving forward. So it's going to be hard moving forward with a certain project that you're trying to be involved with somebody else as well. Once you look for the win-win situation for them and for you, it'll work out perfectly in the next month or so. So make sure that you're reanalyzing some of the plans that you have moving forward and with other people, and making sure that it's a win-win situation for the both of you. Then it'll work. Okay? And I think you're a little stuck on that particular situation. Okay? Hopefully that helps you out. Should I give up my Doge for Bitcoin? Well, you know me, I just get both. I got both. If you want to, it'd be an okay idea. I think I would just, if you had the means, I would get both. The Doge that I do have was given to me. No, I did buy some Doge. That's not. It's a little lie. I did buy some. They're saying cut in half and put a little bit more into Bitcoin. I think there's going to be a little bit of mishaps with Doge in the next little while. Doge, nothing wrong with Doge. The attention will be on Bitcoin in the next little while. But as a result of Bitcoin going up, with all the attention given to it, all other cryptocurrencies will go up in time. Okay, so I would do both, but if you want to, maybe do half. Okay, that's what I'm picking up. Okay, hopefully that helps you out. Andre, UK news is starting to put in the news about repossessions of property, as 32% of UK mortgages are behind. Kind of the same story here. So governments are asking the banks to give a 12-month grace to help people out. Okay. It's not going to help the people much, especially when there's no jobs, or people don't have jobs. Here in Canada, Trudeau is just giving away money. Here, have some money. The wife just got some money from the government. She didn't know what for. She didn't do anything. It's just because you're part of the hospitals and all this, and then you get the carbon tax money back. All that stupidity. This is the time when you're going to start to see the big cracks in the banking system. It's going to be collapsing. Banks will not want these properties on their banking sheets for very long. This is the moment in time. If people are defaulting on their mortgages, that means it has to go back to the bank. And if that happens in a huge way, okay, banks will start to eliminate that off their banking sheets at really cheap prices, because it costs more to keep it in their possession than it is just basically give it away. Okay, so you're getting at that moment where cats jump on your head and mortgages. Banks are going to be giving housing buildings away for very, very cheap. Hey, excuse me. Excuse me a minute. You okay up there? Well, anyways, yeah. So that's going to be fun. You might get a deal on housing. One more? Do we have time for one more? Yeah, Kitty wants to join the show and climb on the. Okay, buddy. He wants to get on the shelving that's not there. Anyways, according to Crypto Casey, I don't know who that is, this BTC ETF of BlackRock is a huge con job. Okay. I know why they would do it that way. Getting everybody excited about cryptocurrencies. It'd be more into their benefit if they do get the ETF, because they would make more money. Right? That's what they're about. That's why they've been buying all the cryptocurrencies. Let's see if he has any merit to what he says. Partially, I think it's to get more and more people excited about cryptocurrency, getting the price up, but that ETF is going to be passed one way or another. Hey. No. Excuse me a minute. Okay, buddy. Okay. But it is going to be going through the next year or so. Just because they need one. They're giving away money to other countries, and that would mean that the U.S. is no longer the big player around the world as for cryptocurrencies and wealth. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. What else we got here? No problem, Bob. I guess that's the show for today. You never know what's going to happen. Okay. Excuse me. No. Got to do this. Then I can do that. Good. Bookshelf is broken. Yeah. The cat smashed into it. If you like a personal reading with me, make sure you go to psychreadingsbyandre.com, where all that information is there. If you like a personal healing with my wife, the Reiki Master, make sure you go to psychreadingsbyandre.com, where all that information is there as well. If you like to be part of our Discord channel, make sure you go to psychreadingsbyandre.com. There's a big button on there on our website, so you can join that way as well. We're going to be back here on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Central, and also make sure that on Saturday and Sunday we also have our 11:15 horoscope readings, and on the Sunday at 11:15 we also have the remote viewing practice show. So make sure you put that on your calendar so you don't miss out. Everybody did very, very well last time, and just building up those psychic abilities the more as we go along. Okay, with that said, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.